my name's Joe Hallett. I'm the producer of Paintball Massacre. Before producing Paintball Massacre, I predominantly worked in the screen fighting and stunt department on many feature films and TV series. My first experience of a film set was on an independent film where I played a very small role. I was a drug dealer and I had one line, which is quite a funny line, and from that day I just loved working on a film set and I wanted to pursue a career in film and TV. From there I think I was the age of 15, and since then I've just been very fortunate to work with some amazing talented people. Some of my credits include the big World War II blockbuster Fury, starring the amazing Brad Pitt, Shia LaBeouf and Logan Lerman. I've also had the privilege of working with a good friend and director Joey Ansar on his critically acclaimed web series Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. I was part of the core fight team and I stunt doubled one of the main characters, Master Gutetsu, which was a fabulous experience filming out in Bulgaria. On top of that, I've worked with Scott Adkins, the action star, on Green Street 3, and also most recently on a film called Iron Vengeance with Stu Bennett from WWE, directed by Ross Boyask. And I've done Farming with Kate Beckinsale. So I've done a lot of fighting and action in front camera, and I've recently done some fight choreography behind it as well on some short films. Mercs Musami, which is now on Amazon Prime, directed by a good friend Michael Morris, who is also associate producer on Paintball Massacre. So I've had a taste of in front of camera, and I've also done stuff behind the camera as a producer on a martial arts TV series that went nationally called Infinity Southwest Beyond, based around a martial arts tournament that I host. So yeah, I've done in front and behind the camera, but this feature film was the first time taking on such a large project. Paintball Massacre came about quite out of the blue, really. I was working on another independent film at the time that was in pre-production, and sadly that film fell through. So I was kind of at loose ends at the time, and my producer partner approached me with this idea for a feature film surrounding the idea of paintballing. I thought it was a great idea, and with all the resources that I've gained and contacts over all the productions I've worked with over the years, I thought, well, why not? This is the time to take that risk, jump out, take that leap, go out on a limb and produce my first feature film. So the initial idea that was given to me by my producer partner was these people were friends are going paintballing, and in the game of Capture the Fort, the whole team is massacred. Spoiler alert. And I'm not sure what's going on, and basically it's revealed there is a mass killer on the loose, and he tracks them down one by one and kills them in the way they work or their profession. So there is some sort of link between the killer and his victims, and that was kind of the premise, the idea. It's quite a skeleton idea. So I thought, okay, this has definitely got some legs, but we need to find the glue that fits all these pieces together. Why are they going paintball and what connects them all together? Who is this killer? Why is he killing them? All these ideas that actually bring it together as a feature film. So over the course of a few weeks, we went back and forth with different ideas, brainstorming. I focused on what could be, why people go to paintballing socially. So it was like hen do's, stag do's, that kind of thing. And I thought, well, we've got a multi-gender cast here, females and males, so we had to think of something that all of them would come together with. And the idea that I came up with was the school reunion. So these guys have been at school, and they meet up at school reunion and go paintballing. And this killer has something to do with their past that potentially might have happened at school, or it could be someone else. In the film, the cast or the characters speculate it, and I leave the audience to make up their mind at the end of the film. But that was the idea, and that kind of was the link and the key to bring it all together. So again, we developed this idea back and forth until we were ready to approach our scriptwriter Chris Regan, and I think this is when the magic really started to happen with our film. We worked with Chris and made a basic outline of characters and how the process of the film and the stages of it, and we left him, just let him do what he does best, and he came up with a fantastic script. It's amazing how he takes this idea and he just brought it to a reality. There are some amazing one-liners in it. Some of the character development is phenomenal in it, and he just did really well. We gave him a lot of creative freedom on this one, and just didn't hold him back, and just left him do what he did best. And he presented us with what is the script and what is Paintball Massacre that you see today. So this was about over a course of a year. So from when I initially was given this idea by my producer partner in 2017, we developed the idea and then the script with Chris over a course of a year, which is really good going, as independent films go. Even the biggest budgets take many, many years to develop, so we did really well. So by the end of 2017, we're looking to going into pre-production. So I sourced our investors, our finance, and we went into pre-production Paintball Massacre in around 2018. So yeah, we did really, really well with the development of this film, and I'm really chuffed how it came out. Casting this film was quite a difficult process. As it's an independent film and very low budget, we didn't have the privilege of employing a casting director as such. Actually, all the casting was done by myself, our producer partner, or the director. Like I said, I've worked on many productions with some fantastic, talented people, and this was an opportunity for myself, my producer partner, to give roles to actors or actresses that we've worked with that we believe have got amazing talent and deserve that little bit more spotlight in front of camera. But it wasn't about just giving roles to friends. I know a lot of people in the industry do that. We actually chose these people because we knew they could take that role and become that person, and they fit that role really, really good. And that was the key. You can't just cast because you think you know that person. We casted them purely for the fact we knew they could take that role and run with it and do an amazing job. So the first few roles that were taken were Jess, or Jessica Bentley, and that was given to Cheryl Burniston. We've worked with Cheryl on other projects as a team, and we knew she could take on the role of Jess and do it justice. So Cheryl was on board. Another early recruitment was Lee Latchford Evans from the hit band Steps. Again, we've worked with Lee before. We know he can dance, he can sing, but also he can actually act really well. So we offered him a chance to be part of our film. We gave him the script. There were a couple of roles that potentially could have fit. We let him, decide which role he felt was best. And he took the role of Nathan Brown, the firefighter. It's a really good role because it's a nice character arc and then development. Starts off kind of suicidal. Spoiler again. By the end of the film, he's kind of the hero, and he wants to survive the film. So it's a really good character for Lee. He's done a lot of quite a few other feature films, but this is the first one he's had a lot of screen time as one of the main characters, and he did really, really well. And I hope this spurs more feature films his way. Then one of the key characters that we struggled on casting was Lauren Bryce. Eventually was taken on by Natasha Kalip, who was phenomenal as that role. Our supermodel, our page 3 model, let's say glamour model, but a person who doesn't pretty much give a crap about anyone but herself, and she's very, very loudmouth and just says what everyone else thinks, but she just goes out and says it, which is great. But that was the only role that we actually advertised for, because we couldn't find anyone who we felt had that personality and that charisma that could really bring that character to life. But through the advertising, we were able to find Natasha, and rest is history with that one. The key character was Marshall Shelley as well. Marshall Shelley is like the one that runs the paintball facility, and she goes loggerheads with Lauren Bryce on a number of scenes. So we needed someone, again, who's a strong female character that takes no crap off anyone. And as it was a few days work, we really wanted to get a named actor who had notable roles and to their names. And one person on top of our list was Katie Brand, mainly because of her ITV2 sketch show where she played a role of Captain Rosie. And that kind of character she played there is very similar to how we envisioned Marshall Shelley to be. So we reached out to her agent, and we were very, very fortunate that she loved the script and she wanted to come on board. So that was a real privilege to have Katie Brown on set for a few days, and it was lovely to work with her. Another person that was quite late in the day casting was Robert Porter, or Bertie. We got him for a mutual friend. Everyone we looked to play Marshall, Eddie, were either busy or just couldn't make the days, and we reached out to a mutual friend who put us in touch with Bertie, and within 3 hours of emailing him, he was on board, which was really great. I think that was only 2 days before we started rolling cameras, so that was quite late. Another person we got on board was our horror veteran actor, Nicholas Vince, mostly known for his role as the Chattering Cenobite in the Hellraiser films. We actually got him on board through Chris, the writer. Chris knew Nicholas and reached out to him, and he loved the script, and really fortunate again have Nicholas on board. And then when it came to the rest of the group, the Massacre crew, we chose these through people we've worked with before, but we knew could take the role and do it justice and just really bring that character to life. So once we sat around and had our script read around the table, and we started hearing everyone's characters come alive, we really kind of got goosebumps, because I started to feel like the cast is really, really good, and I think when you watch a film you believe they were at school with each other, and there is some great chemistry throughout, so I'm really chuffed with the cast in the end, and they all did the film and the script justice. Finding the locations for our feature film did prove very problematic. The initial idea when we were developing Paintball Massacre was we actually shot the outside of London, near towards Aylesbury and Watford and St Albans area. But this just proved really hard and tricky to find a location that had everything and was in our budget range. It meant that we would probably have to shoot on a number of different locations in that area, and would have proved quite costly in the end. And at that point I felt, no, this is not going to work for us. So we actually moved the whole shoot down to where I live, in the heart of Somerset, the southwest England, which was great because I was able to showcase the beautiful countryside that I live in Somerset. And what was also great to reach out to local businesses around the area who were very helpful and really bent over backwards to really support us while filming in the southwest of England. When we were developing the idea, I met a gentleman called Bill Bailey from Target's Paintball, a local paintball facility, and they were very keen to support us in helping us make this film. So a year go by, and I approached Bill again when we had this script. We were ready to start going to pre-production and looking for locations, and Bill told me that he's relocated to a quarry location, which was like, wow, this is pretty cool. It's better than a forest. So I went down to location recce this quarry, and it just gave us loads more options for this film. So I then got on the phone to my producer party. You got to come down and see these locations, see what we've got at hand for this quarry. And then the director came down as well for location recce. And what's key with independent films is you want to have minimal locations, because every time you move to a location, you've got a different unit base, your transportation, you're bringing kit, everything's escalating those costs. So to try and film in very, very little locations is the key, and this location in the quarry gave us that option. So we had the forestry area, we had the hill where we have this crucifix cross, we have all these different tracks that the cast can get lost in. We even found a barn to do the finale fight. And what was great, the owners of the quarry, Fernan and Liz Hill from Mendip Shooting Ground, they really supported us and allowed us to go to the quarry on numerous occasions, and we actually built the fort over a course of 3 days because there was nothing there, so we built that fort with our bare hands, me and the other producers, and it was just a fantastic location, and it's so beautiful, a real beautiful location. And then I needed lakes. I spoke to Fern and Liz, and they actually had some lakes near the quarry that they owned, so we were able to use that 2 minutes up the road from the quarry. And then one of the hotels where we put the crew, the Sparkford Inn, ran by Gemma and Daryl, they had storage rooms, and these storage rooms were really old farmhouse buildings that were listed. And we were really struggling on the location for the bunker, or the where people go in and you find the bloody table and the tools. And we walked into this unit of block of farmhouses, and we're like, this is what we want. So we're able to double up the hotel, Sparkford Inn, where we start the film out. We're also using one of their locations for the bunker, which you would never know. I'll probably ruin it for a lot of film fans now, that they know when they go into that little concrete building that it is just a small building. Magic of film, we go into a location in the Sparkford Inn. So yeah, we were able to have minimal locations. We basically, what's on film was shot in kind of 2 locations. Just thankful for all the support that we had from our business owners. So obviously Fern and Liz Hill from Mendip Shooting Ground, Gemma Gatehouse and Darren Northcutt from Sparkford Inn. Also the other hotel, we put the cast, the halfway house at Chilford Doma, at Yeovil, and also the Mile May Arms, and just all these amazing people that helped support us and make this film what it is today. The initial idea for me was to play Ben Hayes, the estate agent who had the talk of the gab that can sell anything. And that was my role, even right up to nearly shooting. I learnt all the lines for Ben, and I was going to play Ben. And then a decision was made, which I think was the best decision, was to switch my character over with Nathan Clough's character. So I was going to then play Aiden, and Nathan was going to play Ben. And I think this is one of the best decisions that was made before production. One reason alone was the fact that it cut my days as an actor. I had from 12 days to like 6 as an actor. So that really freed me up for a lot more producing role, which was fantastic because there were a lot more that was needed to be done as a producer than I can ever anticipated. And also it was great, we were able to give Nathan a lot more screen time because Nathan is a phenomenal and talented actor, and he really he brought Ben to life with this whole estate agent and the talk of the gab, and he was fantastic. And it was great to see Nathan be able to play Ben. But me and him did find it quite funny at times where we'd be off behind camera and hearing the other actor say lines that I or him have learnt. So it was always quite weird seeing another actor play the role that we prepared for. But I really did like the role of Aiden. He's cocky, arrogant, big-headed, but he's a character that personally I would dislike. He's very annoying, and I think a lot of people are glad that he doesn't survive this film. Spoiler alert. But no, it was a great experience to be able to take on that role and act for those 6 days, and then step back, put the producer hat on, and make sure the rest of the shoot ran smoothly. One of the tougher days of playing Aiden on set was the day of my eyes being gouged out with the special effects makeup. Our makeup artist Lisa Want did a phenomenal job. It looked so real, but what that meant is me being blinded for most of the day. And as film sets go, you're going to get people play a few tricks on me. While I'm blinded, coming behind me, tickling my ear, whispering and stuff, and it was very tough that day to get through, because the majority of the day I'm blinded and couldn't see nothing. But it looks great on camera. I'm glad I experienced that for the day, because it looks awesome, that scene. And when the thumb goes in the eye, it's really cool indeed. So yeah, that was a tough day as Aiden, but majority of playing him, it was great fun. The hardest thing we did, and we learnt again, it's something we've learnt from, is our main location is this abandoned quarry, this used quarry, which had no running electric, no running water, no amenities. Basically, it is an abandoned quarry. So we had to bring in so much to make the unit base. You know, we had portaloos again. You know, portaloos, tents, all the catering wise, we had to bring our own catering system, be able to do breakfast. And yeah, we want to make sure everyone was looked after on set really well. So that was the key, is making sure our unit base was as good as it could be, considering what we had to deal with. Another massive issue that happened was obviously weather. We are shooting a film that's about 90% external, and we're shooting a film that's tail end of September going into October, English weather. So we're in an abandoned quarry, very little covering if it does start to rain. So but we're very, very fortunate that year, where I think it was only three or 4 days that we had a bit of rain. The rest of the shoot, it felt really nice, and it felt very hot, like mid of August, July time. So yeah, it was we were very fortunate with the weather. So yeah, I think the main big issues for us were having nothing at this location. We had to bring everything in, and also the English weather, the traditional English weather. But we did really well. We shot the film over the course of 4 weeks, and that was Monday to Friday. We didn't include weekends. Hindsight, we definitely should have used the Saturdays as well. So we didn't do, we've learnt from. But yeah, we've, like I said, it's an emotional roller coaster. Fully enjoyed the process, and can't wait for the next one. And whatever we've learnt from this one, bring into the next production. And we won't pick a location that has no electric or running water. That's one thing. And we'll try and shoot a lot more indoors. The most satisfying part of making Paintball Massacre for me was the actual post-production process. I think from the beginning, obviously, developing this idea, getting into a script, casting the characters, filming it in production, but then taking it away, taking it back to the editing suite and watching the rushes and putting these scenes together is a real satisfying moment, because all this hard work you've done over this course of maybe 2 years is coming down to these scenes. And I was very fortunate to be able to be involved heavily in the editing process with my editor Daniel Jewell. I looked through every take, everything, made a list of preferred takes, which he then took and made the rough cut, and I was very, very impressed with the rough cut. It wasn't quite rough, it was actually really, really good, but it did, we actually had about 90% of the film, and we only had to shoot a few pickups we shot later in that year, and I was fortunate to direct those few pickups with the few actors we needed for those scenes. And then when we pieced them where we needed to, that was a real moment where we went, this film's complete now. And I think that the most satisfying moment is when we've made picture lock. We've done all the edit, the film's there, it's complete, and we're happy with what we've got. And that was a really good moment. That was a moment to celebrate, maybe have a pop out some champagne and have a few glasses, because we've done a lot of hard work to get to that stage, and then we can then move on to the next part, which is obviously grading, sound design, putting the score together. But yeah, most satisfying for me was the post-production process, getting to picture lock. You know, all the rest of the actors, the crew, anyone involved that side of things, you know, that when we wrapped, you know, they go move on to another production or move on with their lives. But as a producer, you're living the film for a lot longer. Paintball Massacre has been about 4 years of my life, and it will always be part of my life. But yeah, I've lived this film every day of my life for 4 years, so to get to the picture lock is a really, really great moment. Do I have a favourite character in this film? I love all the characters, I really do. If I had to pick out a few, Lauren Bryce, Natasha's great as that character. I really love some of the lines she comes out with. I really, really do like Lauren in this. Other characters, Marshall Eddie, Robert Porter. I think his line, "We only let people run naked on stag do's." Every time I hear that, I laugh up. I proper laugh. That's a good little line I like from Chris put in. Another character really stands out for me is Sarah Ryan, Aoife, with her love for Fast and Furious. I think the connection between her and also Tommy Atkins, played by Lockhart. Lockhart does. I think Lockhart steals his scenes all the time when he's in front camera. He's phenomenal. So yeah, those two are really great as well. Favourite scenes? Wow. I think I do always love the Massacre crew assemble shot where they walk out of the changing rooms, and the score that's put to it by our very talented composer Patrick Gill and his dad whistling with the idea. I actually used the Good, Bad and the Ugly track as kind of a temp music for that, and he really brought it alive with our own track for that. That's really great, and obviously when Matt comes out and potentially goes to vomit, and he has the line that's quite funny is the fact that he said they're all bald, and that's an ad-lib line that we left in. I think it really works really well. Obviously we've got another ad-lib line, hopefully a little Easter egg, where Lee's in the leaning over the hole to help Matt, and he says he's going to go and help and get. I leave you to find what word that is, but yeah, watch it, find the scene, you know what I'm on about, it's quite funny. But another scene, one of my favourite scenes is actually the death of Rob, how he goes into the bunker, shoots the killer, and it's comical but tense at the same time, and the score really adds to that scene. I like the score with that. So yeah, Tony really did really well when he gets shot and he goes like, really? You know, it's comical, but then it's the seriousness of the scene and what actually happens in that bunker as well. It's very, very cool. So that's another scene that stands out for me as well. What's next for me? Well, like I said, this film has been 4 years of my life, so I'm just going to enjoy the moment of this film being released, and I love to hear all the feedback and the responses and people's reaction to certain scenes. I really do think this film is going to shock people and surprise them in a good way. So I can't wait for it just to get out there for everyone to enjoy. It's been put a lot of blood, sweat and tears into this film, and it took some time to get to this stage. So I'm really chuffed to get it out and released around the world. So I'm just going to firstly enjoy that moment. But I am developing a number of ideas, and this is definitely a start of a lot more things to come. You're going to see a lot more Infinity Film Studio productions, hopefully a lot more of me, producing as well as acting. But yeah, at the moment just enjoy, and the response from Paintball Massacre, but please do enjoy it, love it, support it, and just share the love for Paintball Massacre. But thank you so much for all the support that I've been given. Thank you.